Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BFM 3130. This is part 3 of week 5, and we keep talking about the product development and the business models. Now, in part 3, we will talk about the next stage, which is we already finished the pre-seed stage, and we are moving now to the next stage, which is actually the seed stage. Now, the seed stage, as you can see, we are talking about this area, and there is some overlapping a little bit between the pre-seed and the seed stage, but the seed stage is an advanced one, and I will go for the seed stage, round A or stage A, stage B, stage C, and all of those, if you look at them, they are actually scalability and growth and more funding, which means the company is already successful. And that telling us that the most important area when you go in this business is the pre-seed stage and the seed stage and the pre-seed stage. The pre-seed stage specifically because the idea and the MVP and its initial formation is in this area. The team also formation in this area. Now you just keep improving as you move and grow, and more funds are coming and more business is coming through. So the seed stage is actually a seed stage for fintech startup. The seed stage is the initial phase where startup aims to validate the business idea. After we have, of course, completed the build the an MVP and gain early traction. The focus is in providing and improving the concept, refining the product, and attracting the first users. So you are already in the market. This is after the deployment. And the objectives of this stage is the idea validation, which is proof that there is a market need for the solution or this startup business. And also there is a development in the product. And it also contains the initial traction, which is acquire early users and gather feedback. Where we get the money from, still, it's the same money we get it, but it's now high. It's the same sources. Of course, we are not doing any bootstrapping now. It's mostly angel investors and venture capital now coming to the picture, but the funds is increasing from 100,000 to 2 million. It depends where you are. So seed funding typically comes from angel investors, seed stage venture capital, firms, incubators, accelerators, and sometimes crowdfunding platforms. You can also find this if you are very successful in the pre-seed stage, but the amounts here is higher. I brought some examples from Pacific Basin. Zendet, for example, this is in Indonesia, raised $500,000 in seed funding in 2015. The company initially focused on simplifying process of accepting payments online in Southeast Asia, where the payment options were highly fragmented. The funding was crucial in building its MVP and gaining early attraction with the small and medium-sized business in Indonesia. Now we are talking about Indonesia, we are talking 500,000. If you are in Europe, this could be 5 million or something. But of course, the everything, especially the operations in Indonesia and this area of the world, is cheaper than when we talk about it in Europe. If you want to read about Zendet, you can read about it here. Money Match is also in Malaysia, and this is one of the companies we have seen in the list, and it's actually very active. Money Match, a Malaysian fintech startup that provides cross-border payments also services. raised around $600,000 in seed funding in 2017. The funds were used to develop its FBB platforms for affordable and transparent interactions. If you want to read, you can read this reference. They give you more information about it. You want to read about the Pacific Basin case, which is this one. You can read it in this reference. And Malaysia, you can read about this if you want to read about the money match. Now we are done with the seed stage. We move to the, it's now just as I told you, growing and scaling. This is round A. Just look at the objectives. Series A round is focused on scaling the product, optimizing the now we are optimizing the business model and expanding the team. See here the team now, they are starting to talk about the team. Actually, because the business is growing, more expenses are coming and more revenues are coming. And of course, you are attracted by so many investors. At this stage, the startup should have working product, clear value proposition, and some degree of market validation. And the key objectives is, as I told you, the scaling, expanding the team, and expanding the market. And the source is still, now we moved from the angel investors, we moved to the venture capital firms, specializing in early stage investments. Later on, in week 6, I will give you more about all those investors and funding and round of fundings for different companies, so you can have some pictures. But the nice thing here, you are not talking about 100,000, you're already talking about $2 million to $15 million, which means huge, huge money. I brought some examples. Cursal, we saw it. It's now it's in the marketplace. It works in the marketplace, which means when we talk about marketplace, these people actually provide. When we talk about marketplace, those people are very useful. They give you regulatory compliance. They help you and they help you in, they provide technologies, they provide the platforms, they provide you can outsource them for all those technology needs. They are like technology providers. They can help you in regulation and regulatory compliance. They can help you in marketing and expanding the market. So they are just like providing services for the whole ecosystem, especially those companies in different sizes and in different stages of growth. Cursal is actually, you can read about it. It's a very, very good one. And now, as I told you, it's operates in Malaysia. In Australia, we have Airwelix. Airwelix is a fintech startup based in Australia, raised 13 million in its Series A around 2017, led by Gopi Partners and Horizon Ventures. The funds were directed towards scaling. In Malaysia, we have Kakatingan. Kakatingan is, I don't know that I'm pronouncing the right term or no, but they are working in HR. So they are actually having this clouds, and the funding was, so they provide all those cloud-based HR services. They have those servers where HR can actually get solutions. So it's like also a marketplace, but in the HR. And they do it for small businesses, for small SMEs across Malaysia, improving payroll and employee management services. You can read about this here. Now let's go to stage B, another scaling, but now we are talking about So we are now here. And hopefully we'll reach to here soon when you start your own startup. So Serious B is actually aimed at scaling the business. As I told you, all of us is just scaling, penetrating market, improving the teams, and improving the products, penetrating cross-country markets. So they are going to, now they have high demand and they want to optimize operations and expand into new markets. The company has demonstrated product market fit, which means all those market fit tests. I don't know whether you have done market fit tests, but I think NBFW 2120, they talked about the market fit for technology companies and tech companies. And it's now, the company is in this stage, is now focused on rapid growth. Objective, market penetration, operational efficiency, and revenue growth. This is very nice. And the funding, as I told you, it's high now, 10 million to 50 million. You know, the valuation of the company, you can talk about 30 million to $100 million. If somebody, I tell you, if somebody succeed in their early stages and chances are just open, like what we see in Big Bay. Big Bay, when they started, when he was talking about the founder, he's your age, maybe a little bit elder. I don't think he's in 30 something. But he said when he started with 6,000 ringgits. This guy was working with, he's doing what we call supply chain financing. Big Bay is a very, I think they are already in this stage. So the source of funding actually comes from venture capital, usually funds, often including previous investors. And the series of the amount you can see depends on those countries. Now they are talking about dollars, but I will show you in the class maybe next week. When we meet, I will show you all of those people who are asking for funding when we attended the last pitching. And they show in which state they are and how much money they are requesting. Series B, you can look at Indonesia. Oh, our students from Indonesia, they know Gojek very, very well. This is the motorcycle, businesses, and just started. They do everything, almost everything. If you have been to Jakarta, you will know what they are doing. International example, I think I mentioned it before, Dropbox, which is actually a solution for keeping and saving documents. Revolt also raised around 66 million in Series B in 2017 from Index Ventures to expand its services across Europe. This is a European company. And you can also read about those references if you want to increase your knowledge about those companies and look at their experiences. Now we move to C and beyond. C is actually the final one. As you can see, we are already here. And it's, if you look at it, they're about scaling globally, expanding the product line and preparing for potential exit where whether through IPO, which means either they want to sell the whole equity and leave and take the money based on the present valuation of the company, and they are talking about tens of millions of dollars in this case, or they want to go and be a public company, which is IPO. So at this stage, the startup is typically generating significant revenues and maybe approaching high profitability or profitability. So the key objective is global expansion, new product development, and exit preparation. When I say exit preparation, which means they want to move now from public company to a private company. And all of this about growth and scaling more market, more, and of course they will change the, keep the following the products and maintaining. So Series C funding often includes large venture capital firms, private equity, and strategic investors. I think in Malaysia, we have some examples here. The Qataris have just, financed one of those companies. We are talking about $50 million to $200 million. An example in Malaysia, Karsam, I think, Qatar Investment Authority actually invested in Karsam. This is auto cars, talking about the marketing of cars, selling cars, buying cars, and they are doing all those ones, but they are, operating across Asia now, across Pacific Basin. I don't know whether you know Stripe or no, but we will talk about it when we come to develop our payment system. This is a technology provider. A technology provider, this one is actually, they are operating around 120 countries now. So if you have, international payments, you have to have Stripe with you. So Stripe will give you the payments will be through Stripe, and Stripe will, whether it's from inside the country or outside. This is for e-commerce specifically. When you come to Stripe, Stripe actually will let the customer pay, and it will pay through their system. So you have to make arrangements with Stripe. So Stripe is the one who actually manage the payments and settle it later on. So in 2020, Stripe raised 600 million in Series C, round led by Andreessen Horowitz, Squita Capital, and General Catalyst. The funds were used to expand globally, including entering new markets in Asia and Europe. Waze also, I don't know, we don't see Waze here, but it's very, very famous in Europe. And it's transfer. It's a transfer system. It's a transfer system, and they have a very, very interesting story when they started. So they are already in this stage, Waze and Karsam and Stripe. This is the end of part 3. And I think I'll just stop here because part 4 is nothing more about it.